Welcome to Grandpa's Kitchen, starring Grandpa, Cousin Cletus, Cousin Elmo, and your host, J. Bob. Wow, I like that new intro and no infomercial. Get that out of here. Sorry about that, J. Bob. Today's episode brought to you by Mr. Bacon Bacon Flavored Toothpaste. Yes, are you tired of the overly minty taste of your toothpaste? Then pick yourself up some bacon toothpaste, guaranteed to make your breath bacony fresh. While polishing that one remaining tooth to a dazzling white, it also guarantees that with every brush, you clog an artery. So the next time you're at your store, make sure to pick up some Mr. Bacon Bacon Flavored Toothpaste. Brought to you by the good folks at Gagamall Industries. I had to open my big mouth. Well, hi, and welcome to Grandpa's Kitchen. I'm your country cousin and host, J. Bob. That's spelled J. Perry, B-O-B. Well, welcome to our channel. If you're new, welcome. Today, we're around the homestead. We've been kind of busy with a lot of chores. When me and Grandpa went out to the vegetable garden, found all kinds of cutie cumbers and jalapenos ready to be plucked. And we've been pickling, getting them all canned up and put down into the cellar for this winter. Yeah. Something that you all didn't know, Cousin Cletus, well, let's just say he made a mistake. You know, he's had a thing for the neighbor's daughters, you know, the Olsen twins. The Lord Jesus might have turned water to wine, but them two turned wine to vinegar. Ooh, good night. Well, anyhow, Cletus messed around with one of them, got her pregnant. Now we got a little Cletus Jr. I'll tell you what, Cletus is cheap. Seriously, you're going to use duct tape instead of a pamper? What's wrong with you? Good night. And since when did Anheuser-Busch make baby formula? I'm starting to wonder about those two. Whew. Well, other than that, you know, it's just been your standard brouhaha, except for one thing. Of course, Elmo. How does Elmo do it? I have no idea. I sometimes wonder if oxygen actually gets to his brain. Survey says... Well, anyhow, he was out there doing his chores, milking the cows, right? And, you know, he came running in the house with the pail. And he's up, Grandpa. And Grandpa said, yeah, what's wrong? He said, I think there's something wrong with one of those heifers out there. I mean, look at it. Look at the milk it gave me. Didn't give very much and it looks funny. Grandpa grabbed the pail and was looking at it and, well, it does look a little strange. Something ain't right there. So, might have to call the vet. Tell you what, Elmo, take me out there and show me that critter, and let's see if there might be something just simple going on, you know, and don't need a vet bill on top of everything else. So Elmo says, all right. So he takes Grandpa and on out there, and they get all the way out there. Now, Grandpa goes up by the fencing where the heifers are out, you know, or cows. But Elmo starts taking off on a little bit further. Grandpa's, what is he doing? And all of a sudden, Elmo says, here it is. Grandpa came over and looked. He said, you idiot, that's a steer, not a heifer. Good Lord, you're milking a bull. Only thing Elmo could say was, well, I wonder why the udder was shaped so weird. Leave it to Elmo. Oh well, today in the kitchen, we're trying out something that we actually videotaped at one point, but problems arise. It was going to be a good keep it or lose it recipe. So, what we did was found out the mistakes in the recipe and also the mistakes I did, and we fixed it. So, let's try out this new soup we found. It's a copycat of Panera's cheesy broccoli soup. let's get cooking. All right, let's get this started. Now, as always, as I've said, have something good to drink. There's some good old freshly brewed iced tea. I'm a tea freak. Now, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start melting a 1/4 cup of butter. And I've already got this going. Good and warm. Now, we're going to alter the recipe a little bit. They want you to melt the butter down and saute the onions. When we tried it the first time, we found that you couldn't taste none of the onions. So we're just going to leave the onion part out. Plus, when you put the flour in, you'd have to add more butter because it would be all, wouldn't be enough. You'd have too much in here. So we're going to start just bringing in some flour like this. That melted butter. Sprinkle that in a bit. Take my wire whisk. Still got plenty of butter. Oh, by the way, this is kind of the basics of making like peppered white gravy too. Kind of caught on to that way it was talking. And what's going to wind up happening is it going to look like mashed taters when we get done. That's right, mashed taters. There we go. And there we go. This is going to help thicken up the soup. We'll add the onions in here in a little bit. Now the next step, if I'm doing this right, we're going to start mixing in our 1/2 and 1/2 is 2 cups. But you got to do it slow. Maybe a little faster than that. Whisk and whisk. Here's the reason why a lot of people's gravy comes out lumpy. If you don't just do it slow enough, it'll just clump up. And just keep mixing it in and whipping it up. Alright, that should be slowed enough. Now we've added the 1/2 and 1/2. Now we're going to whisk in our chicken stock. Make the same way. Of course, by now most of this is already unlumped. Yes, sir. All right. Now, while I make sure, that's right. We're going to turn the temperature down to a lower setting. Well, now here's where I'm going to put the onions and the broccoli in. And again, I'm going to whisk it just a bit. Not a whole lot. Now, I'm going to lid this up and let it set for about 20-25 minutes. And we'll be back just like this. All right. Now, we've let this go for about 10 minutes on low and covered it. It wasn't doing very well. So we turned it up to medium heat and let it go for about another 20 minutes. And now the broccoli is really getting good and tender. Yes, sir. Okay, now I've turned it down to a lower setting, and the last step is put in 2 cups of sharp cheddar cheese. Now we're going to mix that in best we can, just get it stirred up, and then we're just going to cook until the cheese starts to really melt in. This is where it needs to be on the low setting, not at the beginning when you're trying to get everything soft. This is where me and the original cook would disagree heavily. Now I'm just going to keep stirring this in until I get it completely mixed in. Look at how that's thickening up. Oh yeah. That's what you want to see, is a good thick cheesy soup. And guess what? We're done. Now, does we keep it or does we lose it? Yeah, yeah. Well, as you can tell, that came out real good. But that was my alteration on the recipe. We found that recipe had a lot of mistakes. And normally when I do a keep it or lose it, I'm going to either just keep it or I'm going to lose it. But because there was mistakes on both parts, I decided to fix it. So in the description, I got the original link to, I think it's called girlwhoateeverything.com. That recipe will be there if you're interested in using it. But underneath it, I'm going to put my recipe in if you want to try it that way. Choice is yours. It's up to you. All right. Well, this week we got no one to really talk about as we do that with normal. So for all you good folks watching this, today we give you, our viewers, a big O!
Salute!
Brought to you by Low IQ Production.